Hey everybody, it's me, Adam Iobst of A-Team Realty LLC, and I'm here once again to share with you the latest trends in the real estate market for our area. Last month, in February 2010, not that much changed, and that's not too unusual. The numbers in January and February were very similar, with a slight decrease in the absorption rate, buyer demand, an increase in the number of days it takes to sell a property. The number of sales decreased slightly, and the average sale price dropped 3%, which is not unusual. Actually, that occurs just about every year since I've been tracking the data of 2005, with a slight decrease in sales price from January to February. So for whatever reason, things do tend to slow down here in February. Now, starting this month in March, things typically pick up, and they continue to keep momentum here until the summer months. So with that as a background, let's go ahead and dive right into last month's numbers. All right, let's talk about the absorption rate. As I mentioned earlier, the absorption rate decreased slightly from 18% to 16%, indicating that we're still in a very strong buyer's market. And it's not too unusual to see this slight decrease around the same time every year. The inventory increased slightly last month in February, as well as buyer demand. The inventory, however, did increase slightly, a little bit more than the buyer demand, and that causes, of course, the overall absorption rate to decrease slightly. So that's what we're seeing, and it's not too unusual around this time to see that change. I'm predicting that we're going to get awfully close and perhaps see a balanced real estate market in our area this summer, meaning that at least 25% of what's available goes under contract every 30 days. And I think there's a good chance that we're going to see that type of activity and that type of buyer demand and inventory this summer. Things have been changing in our favor, so to speak, more towards a balanced market since about the summer of 2008. Since that time, overall inventory has been decreasing and buyer demand has been increasing. So those two factors are heading us in the right direction to most likely a more balanced real estate market where prices increase on average anywhere from 4 to 8% annually, and it's a lot more of a healthy turnaround in terms of the real estate cycle. The banks won't be as involved in some of these transactions. So the forces are working in our favor to get to that balanced market, and they have been since about the summer of 2008. We just need to show a little bit of patience here and wait this thing out. Days on market. This market measure last month is not even worth mentioning, honestly. We had a slight increase in the number of days it takes to sell a property from 83 to 84 days. And that's about all I'm going to say about that market measure. I do expect to see the number of days decrease to as low as 65 days to sell a property this summer. That would be kind of an aggressive prediction. More likely it'll be about 70 days to sell a property on average this coming summer. Number of sales. Last month we had a slight decrease in the number of sales in our area on average from about 442 to 420. That's a slight decrease, and it's not too unusual to see around this slow period in the real estate cycle. I'm expecting to see the number of sales increase to close to double that per month in our area for the areas that I track. Sales price. This is perhaps the most interesting market measure this year, and one that I'm going to be monitoring closely. I mean, most of the time we're pretty excited about the sales prices, don't get me wrong. But this year in particular, with the government incentives, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Typically, from about March until June or July, prices increase pretty steadily, and then they tend to drop off toward the end of the year. Last year, 2009, because of the first-time homebuyer tax credit that was set to expire at the end of the year, we saw a dramatic increase in the average sale price the last month of the year in December. And I believe that was due to that initiative by the government. Now that that's been extended to the end of April, I'm wondering if we're going to see a similar spike in average home prices in our area, and whether that increase in property value will continue through the following 2 months, mainly into June and July, where typically prices are at the highest they're going to be for the year. So this summer is going to be an interesting time. That spike would occur about May if we were to see the same thing that we saw last year. So it's really going to be an interesting summer, whether those price points hold or whether we see a dramatic decrease as we did in January of 2010 after that first-time homebuyer tax credit expired. All right, and in summary, to my seller clients out there, it's still a very hard time to sell your properties. If you're considering selling, please give me a call or send me an email. I'd be happy to run a CMA for you that will determine your current market value. Most likely, if you've bought in the last 3 years, it's probably not going to be a good time for you to sell. The market has not rebounded to those price points yet. I predict that they will, but you're going to have to show a little bit of patience and wait to at least 2011 and maybe 2012 to sell your property and then to move. To my buyer clients out there, it's still a great time to buy. Interest rates continue to be low. Inventories are not as high as they were in 2009, 2008, but they have there are a lot of options out there. There's still a lot of properties to choose from. And again, it does take about 3 months on average right now to sell property. So you have a lot to look at, and it does take some time to typically sell a property. Most of your bargains are going to be with distressed properties. They're going to be short sales or bank-owned properties. And if you haven't watched my videos on that, I would encourage you to do that before purchasing those properties. But give me a call if you have any questions. Again, it's a good time to buy real estate. If you're a first-time home buyer, if you can get in before the tax benefit expires in April, that's an additional benefit to you. So it's a great time to be a home buyer. I wish I was a first-time home buyer right now. Landlords, you can still rent. Rental market is picking up steam. There are a lot of folks that are renting properties. There are a lot of them out there, so it might be a little more competitive than it would in a normal balanced real estate market, but it is possible to get qualified renters in your properties at this time. And my renter clients out there, there's a lot for you to choose from. I wouldn't exclusively go after the rental properties. There's a lot of for sale properties where those owners may consider renting as well. So you might want to consider that as an additional option. All right, and with that, I'm out of here. I look forward to doing it again next month. And if you have any questions, feel free to call me.